But it seems to me that Urlacher, you don't deserve all the hatred that's coming your way for the mess that you just created. Because right now, Urlacher, you don't bury yourself into a very deep hole that you can't get yourself out of. And I'm sorry.
And we're talking way beyond 6 feet, son.
This is like 12 feet. This is like you getting blasted to the center of the earth and your skin melts off.
This hole is so deep that not even Lucifer himself can get you out of this mess.
No. The only thing you can do, Urlacher, is apologize for that stupid statement you said on Instagram.
And speaking of Lucifer, for those of you that are enjoying that show on Netflix, season 5, I think, is being released pretty soon.
Yeah.
But back to the NWFL for a moment, Joe.
Okay.
I think you and I talked about, and we will have the Grand Pumbaa of the league next week on our beloved
Yes, I am. The main man himself, Mr. Sean Smith.
The creme de la creme of the NWFL will join us on this lovely and talented podcasting program.
Yep. The king.
Ask.
The big king of the hill.
Questions that inquiring minds
want to
know about the league.
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs.
Yep. Everything in general.
And as we look at the schedule, are there any complaints that you see?
None whatsoever.
When you looked at the 2021 schedule?
None whatsoever. I've seen no complaints. None. And basically every other owner looked at the schedule just like I did on Messenger. And most of us can come to we mostly came to an agreement. This schedule is doable.
Which owners are actually whining?
None.
About the schedule. Good.
So none.
I'm shocked.
Yep.
Usually, because usually you at least have one complaint about, there's like so much travel. Well, there's not on this schedule. Mm-hmm. You're basically, I think the way they have it is, I don't know who we're partnered up with. I guess we're partnered up with Owensboro, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of like what the Atlantic Sun does with their teams.
Yeah.
They try to, keep teams like as close to proximity as possible. But now it's almost impossible because ETSU's not in the ASUN anymore.
Yep.
They got New Jersey Institute of Technology.
Eesh.
And Florida Gulf Coast and other teams like that. So for that league, it's now almost really impossible.
And folks, if you're watching college football or your college players are playing college football, let's at least have a good, decent season. We don't need to have no more screws like the season's past. The 97-yard fumble recovery. Like the 3-yard. Oh.
We've seen that more often than not.
We don't need to see players downing the ball on their own yard line against themselves. Valentino Blake.
We don't need to see another Navy BYU 45-3 shellacking for not being allowed to have contact due to a COVID-19 virus and basically kicking everybody's tail.
Yeah.
Like 2020, enough of you.
Yes, enough already. As Viola Davis said it, can we have a do-over? This is just too much. Enough's enough.
Unfortunately,
we can't.
That do-over has been long overdue. And that do-over ain't coming back.
No.
Who are you in here talking to?
I'm doing a podcast, you idiot.
How you do that? What? Hold on. You did what?
Lord Jesus. And that, folks, is why I need privacy.
I'm gonna give you who all on that with you? How you do these things? I want to learn how to do them. Yeah, right.
Yeah, 1 to 1,000. What's in my wood?
Yep.
Are you talking to anybody? Who is it?
My my broadcasting partner. Goodbye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to interrupt. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Good grief.
Goodbye. We think.
Yes. That, folks, was my younger brother.
Unless they decide to rear their ugly head again.
No. I wish to God on everything that is sanctified and holy, that we can salvage our dignity. Because we lost it because of a twitbag who we will not name on this podcast.
Nope.
So we don't need to get each other riled up for this. Because that twitbag is a twitbag is a twitbag.
There could be worse, but keep in mind, kids, a family show.
Yeah.
Or at least you try to keep it as simple as possible.
Yes. Because if it was the after hours, we'll be cussing up a storm and mention that man's name.
Well, not here.
Not here.
Because today is a little shorter than what we normally had in mind.
Yeah.
Next week, back to our regular schedule.
Yes. So join us for 2 weeks. Next week will be the head honcho of the NWFL. The week after that, my older brother. The main reason why I started this team, the main reason I want to play, will be on this podcast.
Do we have any other surprise guests lined up after the next couple of weeks?
I'll have to try and see if we can shake things up.
Ew. Perfect.
And in this case in point, anything goes. But we're gonna try to keep politics off this podcast.
In reason.
Yes. So do whatever you do, folks.
Because it seems like nowadays we're bringing politics into every minute little detail.
We don't need this mess.
We need everything, folks.
We don't need the politics. Politics don't have no business in sports.
Some things in life, folks, politics don't need to be in it.
Politics don't need to be involved in it. But an undeserving twitbag who will refuse to name has no clue that politics have no business or no jurisdiction in sports whatsoever. Thank you, U.S. Sports Law, Chapter 18, subsection 327. Because that would be an impeachable offense if it was done correctly.
But thanks to here in Nashville, of course, a mayor that is basically afraid of his own shadow.
Yeah.
And his other henchmen. Yeah, I can understand COVID-19. I get it. But at some point, we have to get back to living our lives somewhat.
We need normality.
School closings.
We need more normalcy in this life. We don't need.
Had to close down that.
We don't need to wear a mask every day. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Even though some cities choose to end their mask mandates, you gotta wear the mask in public anyway. Thanks, but no thanks. I gotta have to be able to breathe. And many players, I think some of the players have chosen to sit out the season for personal reasons. J.J. Watt is one of those players. He said if he
played last Thursday, though.
Yeah. He said that he was forced to wear a mask under his helmet. He was going to sit out the whole 2020 season. I guess they came to a compromise.
You don't. Well, the thing is, you don't have to wear the mask before you take the field, but you do have to wear it when you come in and get tested.
Yes.
It ain't that hard. And once they give me the go ahead, if I can, I'll be wearing a mask all the way to the press box.
Yeah.
And do what I normally do best. And when that day comes, I will be blessed and happy to do it.
Yep.
Once again. we start this 2021 maiden voyage of nightmare football?
Let's hope it won't be a part 2 of 2020 because this is too much.
Well, no. Once 2020 is gone, you don't get no part 2.
Let's hope not, because we don't need this mess.
You put 2020 away.
Forever.
Like the garbage that it is.
Forever.
Put it in the circular 22 file for its ugly, pathetic head again.
Forever. Because if I see it rear its ugly head again, I'm going to cut it off, light a match, set it on fire, watch it burn. Excuse me for ranting like that, folks, because COVID-19 is driving me bananas.
Let me see. Okay, thank you for the roof is on fire reference. Thank you.
Yeah. Please forgive me. COVID-19 is having me a little loopy.
We don't need the wire. Let it burn.
Not in this lifetime.
Or never, ever, ever again. Bloodhound gang, thank you.
We just need it to be done. Let's call it a day. Let it be done. Let us get back to our lives, folks. Some of us want to play...
Or if we can get back to our lives, at least somewhat normalcy.
Yes.
If it's a new phase of normalcy, I'll take it over this.
This is ridiculous.
A week. I will literally take it any day of the week.
Yeah. Shoot, I would rather welcome zoo animals giving birth in captivity to this.
I don't even want animals in captivity, okay? That's even more. That's about the second lowest word on. That's like number 2 on the rung of depression already in COVID-19, which is sitting in number 1.
Yeah. And a certain twit bag downplays the numbers.
Don't get
me started. And I won't. Because if I get you started, I'm getting myself started. I don't want to mention that twit bag no more. All I want to see is that twit bag gone.
Like I was telling people yesterday and the day before, we have reached a very important crossroads in this country, kids. And it's up to us as a freaking people, not divided,
coming together.
I don't care what your allegiance is. I don't care if you're Democrat, I don't care if you're Republican, I don't care if you're independent, I don't care if you're left, I don't care if you're right, I don't care if you're wahoo. However, what I care about is you using your voice at the bleeping polls.
Yes.
And if you can't use it at the poll, then I don't want to hear from you. Yeah. Because basically, what you basically have told the nation, and you've basically told the world, and you basically told yourself is, I don't matter. I don't care. Well, if that's the case, then you have nothing to complain about.
Yes. Because as a popular saying goes, until all lives matter, nobody matters. Don't care if you're black, brown, bright, or wearing blue, for crying out loud, folks. Everybody matters.
And like I said before, we have reached a very critical point as citizens. Let's let that sink in for just a second here, children. Citizens.
That means
people.
Yes. Even people from other countries, they're here as citizens. We should treat them like citizens. Like they want to treat us as citizens. We don't need to treat them like dirt. They ain't done nothing wrong. They ain't done nothing to harm anybody.
There was a news story, what was it, earlier this morning on the Black Information Network, where one store owner basically got reprimanded for putting up a sign that says, and I quote, either speak English or get paid $10 extra. Excuse me?
Folks, I'm glad you brought that up, Luther. It's time for a spoiler alert. English is not the official language of this country.